Hey, this is Cranky Crypto, and I haven't made a video in a while, but I had to, dude. Had to. I saw this article, this title, it makes my eyes bleed. I'm so angry, dude. But this is the ignorance that we're dealing with right now. Bitcoin's a bubble. And don't get me wrong, everything can be a bubble. But the three things that can make a bubble, the number one is overvalue. And value comes from two major things: supply, demand. Now here's the problem with these ignorant people who seem to be so smart but so dumb. They keep comparing this to a stock, which that means the stock has to get supply from other people's money that are in the stock market. Of course, this guy, this very ignorant person who's probably very smart and probably a lot wealthier than I am, he doesn't know anything but stocks, if I had to guess. So he compares Bitcoin as a huge bubble is about to pop, and where is it? He compares it to this stock here. It's a bubble. Check out Riot. So I checked out Riot. It's a stock, 2008. It went up to like 200. I didn't mean to do that. I don't care about that guy's Twitter account. He keeps comparing it. What people don't understand is, okay, a good example is the internet didn't compete with the post office, folks. When the internet showed up with this thing called email, the post office wasn't like, we're going to give them a run for the money. This is not a competition. This is not supply and demand. The post office and the internet are not even in the same league. They're barely on the same planet. And this is the same thing with blockchain technology and Bitcoin to a degree. But blockchain is where it's at. And so this guy keeps thinking it's going to fall apart. And he's basing it on his ignorance without taking any research whatsoever, like comparing the post office. I don't know, I put this together real quick. I'm not an artist. I got a little fiat currency here. Everyone's like, oh, it'll never be better than $1. The stock market, they get the bond market. Here they all eating each other up. And here's Bitcoin. You know, it's a little aggressive picture. But they keep thinking this is a competition. It's not. It's just a matter of time. These guys are already starving. They're already antiquated. Time on this. Way more time than I probably should have. I started breaking down, what is the supply? Isn't that really the question, to find out if this is a bubble, when's it going to pop? Because everything, even real estate, which, by the way, we all need houses to live in, right? Isn't that odd that something that requires us all is a shelter had a bubble? I lost I lost a bunch of stuff in 2008. But even something that is so important and necessary as housing has a bubble. So the fact that they even say a bubble is a little bit misleading in itself and idiotic. But that's what people do when they're scared of something, is they try and come up with a word. So I started breaking down. I didn't even get in the housing market. Exactly what is the supply? The demand, let me go down here. I put this in the bottom. Demand right now, blockchains require no trust. It's completely open ledger, which means we don't have to trust the bank, the CEO. We don't have to trust anyone. Everyone knows everything. Imagine that. Imagine us all not telling lies to each other. Next thing blockchain has, 0 employees, no real estate, no expenses, no insurance. If a hurricane, class 17 hurricane, I know it doesn't exist, class 17 hurricane came through and wiped out. It can wipe out all these businesses, but guess what? If there's a computer and an internet connection somewhere, it cannot hurt blockchain's assets because it has zero insurance for employees or property. It never sleeps, never takes a holiday. And when I say it never takes a holiday, blockchain never takes a holiday. And I'm talking about the banks who take times off, and don't get me started on China. I've been on e-commerce for years, and China shuts down 6 weeks a year, 2 to 3 weeks at a time, for the whole country. Their exchanges, their shipping, everything. Anyway, blockchain doesn't do that. So let me see. Blockchain is faster. I like that. Blockchain is cheaper. Yo, that sounds good. Oh yeah, and it's also 1,000 times, it's probably more so, at least 1,000 times more secure than the old internet. It's not a central location like a server that can be attacked from these guys who know a lot more about computers than you and me. Blockchain is on tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and soon millions of computers. Someone who can hack all those computers at once, well, they deserve all the money in the world, in my opinion. As of right now, it is impossible to even consider it. So yeah, if you were a company, if you were a country, if you were a person, would you want to go with the old system, or would you want to go with the one with 98% fees? You don't have to trust anyone. You have to pay for the CEO's new bonus he got this year. Which one would you choose? It's easy. Everyone already knows. So let's break down the supply. We have venture capitalist money, huge. I did the top 10 in United States. It comes up to about $57 billion, pretty good. Then we got top trade commodities. This is old data, but I got the links here. I will post. 2012, we're looking at 9.3. Actually, that's supposed to be trillion. I apologize. Trillion. 9.3 trillion. And that's only the top, I believe, 10. And the information's 5 years old. Right now, we're sitting at 57 trillion. 57.9. Now we're going to the stock exchanges. These are the experts that keep telling us that Bitcoin and blockchain is a bubble. You guys are hilarious. It's like comparing the internet to we call it Western Union. Remember Western Union? They used to deliver the letters on the horse, and that's what he's saying. They can never take us down that internet, and our horses are faster than that internet. I'm sorry. It's like a little kid trying to tell you how the world works. Oh, these stock guys are so smart. So here we go. We got the stock exchanges, top 20. Top 20. I think that is about 2 years old. I have a link here if you want to check my references. We got this New York Stock Exchange, you can see, over $20 trillion. By the way, did you know, I didn't know this, New York Stock Exchange is 224 years old. Would you use anything that's that old? I mean, seriously. Don't you think it's over? I'm sure it's been improved, the computers, but you get my point. It's antiquated, and these are all the guys. And then these are different countries here and their stock exchanges. So now so far we are at $115 trillion. That's pretty good demand considering Bitcoin, I believe, is at 180 billion right now. So I'd say we still got a little ways to go there. We're not even a bit there. Even if we don't grab full market share, even if we only get like 10% market share, which is fair for a good business, much less 50% or whatnot. We've still got a couple of years before we hit that top of that bubble, right? Like the housing bubble. Cash, equities, and repos. This is anything that has a lot to do with businesses and transactions and values. This is data is brought by SALT. They do deeds, derivatives, migrating, and it's all migrating to blockchains, which is another reason it's replacing all. Salt is amazing. Let me go to my first website here, and I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I hate long, boring videos. Yes, folks, this is Salt. If you haven't heard of it, it'll be out soon. I can't wait. Let's say you have Bitcoin, but you don't want to spend it because you're smart and you know it's going to be worth 6 figures very soon. You can give it to Salt, and they're going to give you a loan. And you still get to keep your Bitcoin, and that way when it keeps going up, you spend some money, pay some bills, buy some Christmas presents, and then you go back to it. Life is good. And this is what the cash equities repo transactions they're expecting to fill, or at least the demand in the market. And this is trillion, folks. So this is 1.0 quadrillion, almost 1.1 quadrillion, just in cash equity repo transactions. The bond market, yeah. 2017 stats, U.S. Oh, I apologize. I did not put the link there. We're looking at the Treasury, 13 point, blah, blah, blah. $39.688 trillion. Subtotal right now is 1.6 quadrillion. And I'm not even done. And I mean, that's where I'm stopping right now, guys. I can't keep going. Yeah, it took me an hour to just pull all those things up. So now, after that, it got even scarier. I just started getting to the Federal Reserve Fund, which I never thought about existing. Also, there's Social Security Fund, which you don't want to hear what's been going on with our Social Security Fund, folks. It's bad. Woo! It's like a kid playing with someone else's money. It's just bad. Then we got student loans defaulted or subsidized by the government. Also, the fiat physical dollars. We have over 6.4 trillion, and I do not think cryptocurrency will replace in all these. We might be getting a 30 or 50% market share over the next 5-10 years. I think we'll always kind of need that, just like we still have the U.S. Post Office. The internet is badass, but it did not completely kill the post office. And I think the same will go with our hard U.S. dollar. Then you still got the euro, which prints insane amount of money. Where else do we go? I think that's it. I mean, I found some other ones, and I'm sure if you guys could point in, I can find even more. But let me see. I did this. So this guy's a moron. He only knows something about stocks. He's either really ignorant or he's really scared of losing. I showed you salt. Really excited about VCs. I know a gentleman from one of my meetup groups for crypto, 83 years old, retired from Wall Street before he was 50. He actually was in Wall Street. Then he started his own venture capitalist firm with a couple other rich guys. And once he saw crypto at the age of 83, he decided this is the smartest, best future investment he's ever seen. He is convinced that blockchain and Bitcoin will replace the need and market for venture capitalists completely. And he goes on, and not only that, but it's going to make easier money for the businesses to start up and the end users. Next thing, I didn't even get into preferred stock. If you guys don't know, scam the rich have been using for years on this. Was it preferred stock? SEC keeps the rich rich. You can only buy this stock if you're part of the corporation, but go IPO, or if you're the family member, or if you're considered a accredited investor, has over $1 million net worth outside of your home, blah, blah, blah. Keeps the rich rich. Sounds familiar. All of this. We no longer need servers. We no longer even need certain government policies. We now can govern ourselves. The technology is here. Blockchain makes it possible. Bitcoin is like the shoelaces on the person. Bitcoin is one thing that is exciting about blockchain. But blockchain is exactly what's changing everything else. Distribution of power and responsibility. And honestly, it's going to give us everything back that the internet took. The internet took jobs. It took market share and gave it to the few, which has been great for us, for a lot of us. And just like blockchain, I know I'm going to rant now, aren't I? Just like blockchain, imagine, myself included, much less someone in their 50s or 60s, if you would have said 10 years ago, Facebook's going to be worth $558 billion. And someone will go, well, what does it do? Well, you can talk to friends and family and share pictures and videos. So it's like a photo album online. You're a moron. No one's ever going to evaluate Facebook at $558 billion. Well, folks, it is at that. And the reason is the person who criticizes that has very little understanding of technology and almost no imagination. If you don't understand the technology, try and figure it out. Watch as many videos as you can. Read some more books. Focusing on money and cryptocurrency is awesome. Money is a good thing. But really, this is about freedom and the power of responsibility given back to all of us. Okay, I feel like I was preaching right there. I don't know what happened. So my point being, my summation, the bubble will burst once we get close to valuation being over the demand or supply. At this point, we're at 300 trillion. Is it trillion? No. 300 billion. And we have till we get to about, I'd say, 1.5 quadrillion. Because I have a feeling this number here is going to get up to 3 to 6 quadrillion by the time I do all my numbers. But I don't know if I'm going to go further. This is really boring putting these stats together. And I know none of you are going to go look at any of them and come up with a valid or any reason why my resource is inaccurate or overlaps data from another. If you do, thank you. Because some of these numbers start to spin after a while. Sorry for the long video. I had to respond to that ignoramus from the stock market. And that's it. I'm done. Later.